ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all the devotees once again for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It has been a long time that I could not take all of your association by coming and joining all of you for this wonderful Bhagavatam discussion. I think it was a couple of months back that I could give a class and then post it. There was some or the other engagements that were always coming, and due to which I could not, take all of your association. But then, thanks to Brijesh Prabhu, that he did continued follow up, and that's why I could, somehow, make it possible for today's class. Actually, 1 week back we were at Char Dham Yatra. Anyone who has been to Char Dham Yatra, they know the adventures involved in the Char Dham Yatra. This Char Dham Yatra includes the 4 dhams, which are in the north, in the Himalayas. Begins from Yamunotri, the second is Gangotri, the third is Kedarnath, and the fourth is Badrinath. And out of these 4, 2 of them one has to actually walk up to the top. And that's Yamunotri, which is 6 kilometers trekking. It's not trekking, actually. There are a lot of staircases now everywhere. But then it's a steep climb in the Himalayas. And the second one is Kedarnath, which is close to 19-20 kilometers. And it's a real big climb, really big climb. And literally one really gets exhausted. And when you reach at the top, it's as good as being in Canada. It's like, 2 degrees Celsius, minus 2 degrees Celsius, or maybe lesser than that in Canada. I don't know. But then here at the top, it's really, really cold, especially for those who are, from Maharashtra. And the temperature is quite warm here. It's not so cold. For us, it was quite cold. But then it was really wonderful being in all the 4 dhams. Fortunately, by the Lord's mercy, there were no accidents, or there were no injuries, or there were no stops during the entire journey. It was divinely arranged, I would say. That we could do the entire yatra very, very peacefully. And I had heard in one lecture by His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. Sachinandan Maharaj says that anyone who has been to the yatra or a dham darshan, others may not be able to. But just by taking darshan of someone who has been to the dham, others also get benefited by the same potency. So, I don't know, I'm not very good to look at. But then all of you, by looking at me who has been to dham, all of you can also get the spiritual benefit that we try to receive at Dham. It was very wonderful yatra. The wonderful shloka that we chanted at the beginning of the class, the Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. This shloka actually came to personification when we were at Badrinath. Because that is the place where you get the darshan of Lord Narayan, the temple of Badrinath, Badri Vishal, is Lord Narayan himself. Narayanam Namaskritya. I offer my obeisances, the shloka explains. Narayanam Namaskritya. I offer my obeisances to Lord Narayana. Naram cha eva narottamam. And there is Lord Nara. Nara is not Lord Nara, Arjuna. He is Nara Narayan Rishi. Both of them are sitting there in the altar. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram cha eva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim. So Devi Saraswati, that is Saraswati river. And you can see the river there. It's such a beautiful. Few kilometers from there, there is a village called as Mana village. The village which is right at the, you can say, the borders of China that India shares with China. The Mana village. And this Mana village has the river Saraswati flowing there. From where all the Pāṇḍavas, they went ahead. You know, that place in Mana village, there is a place called as Swargadwar. And there, even today, if you go, you will see the Pāṇḍavas, walking. You know, there's golden statues of all the Pāṇḍavas along with Draupadi and the dog who assisted all of them. That dog is also there right in front of Yudhishthira Maharaj at the front. All of them you can see walking there from Swargadwaram. And there is the beautiful river Saraswati. You know, it was such a goosebump experience to see Mother Saraswati, because that is the only place where you see Saraswati. Other places you will see Saraswati. Other places you don't get to see Saraswati. You may get to see Ganga and Yamuna, but you don't get to see Saraswati. Ultimately, Yamuna also merges in Ganga. But Saraswati, you can just see there for a kilometer maximum. And the water, it comes out of the mountains. It comes out with such a great force. It is, the color is, you can say, emerald green of Mother Saraswati. Very beautiful, very, very attractive. And such a gushing water comes out of the mountain. And you'll be surprised from where is the water coming. You'll be surprised suddenly from the mountain, so much water. There is no connection from the sky. You cannot see that there is some water coming from the sky and suddenly entering into the mountain. So much water, so much. And that water just comes down and, it's like a waterfall, a short waterfall. You can see the water and it just goes ahead. And from other side, from the left side, you will see Alaknanda river coming. That's Mother Ganga eventually. Alaknanda river coming, and close to the junction, the water of Saraswati just disappears. You can see all the land coming up and Saraswati river just gets vanished over there. And after that, all that you see is Alaknanda. And that's a beautiful thing out there. Very beautiful darshan. Devim Saraswatim and Vyasam. So there is a Vyasa Gufa there. The exact place where the entire Srimad Bhagavatam was narrated by Vyasadev to Shukadev Goswami. The exact place where Vyasadev wrote all the Vedas, all the Upavedas, all the 18 Puranas. And very close to that is the Ganesha Gufa, where Lord Ganesha would sit. And there is a distance, generally in pictures you will see Ganesha and Vyasadev sitting in front of each other. But actually there is a distance between Ganesha Gufa and Vyasa Gufa. And Ganesha is sitting there and he was actually, writing down all the scriptures that were spoken by Vyasadev. So that Vyasa Gufa, Devim Saraswatim, Vyasam, Tato Jayamudiri. When you remember all three of them, and here through the narration that I am giving all of you, you will get all success in spiritual practice. So that's the beauty of this beautiful place that we just recently visited. That was Badrinath Dham. So it was wonderful yatra, and I invite all of you whenever you come to India. Right now, through the oral form, through the form of Shruti, you all can take the Dham darshan. But then whenever some of you plan to come to India, please do visit these four dhams. Beautiful places. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam will come in personification in front of all of us. Very beautiful yatra it was. So let us dive into the discussion that is there today in front of all of us. Text number 13 and 14. I will read the translation or the commentary, I can say, given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, looking upon him with unblinking eyes, Their hearts melted. They became filled with affection and moved wherever he moved. So who are we speaking about in this particular shloka, text number 13? We are speaking about the Pandavas. We see whenever a great soul or maybe someone spiritual master, they visit our temple. The main, Prabhupada disciple, whoever is, the GBC of our temple, if he suddenly visits, or anyone, senior personality, he visits our temple, when he visits our temple, immediately the senior devotees will, they're all, absorbed in his association. They will all keep moving around him wherever he is going, whatever he needs. They'll always be with him. And that was exactly what was happening. Wherever Lord Krishna was going, the Pandavas were just following. They looked at him with unblinking eyes. Because the eyes, it is said, the word used here in Sanskrit is, if you see, sarve te animishaihi. Animishaihi. Nimesha. Nimeshi akshay. Akshay means the eyes. Nimesha is the blinking span. The twinkling of the eyes, as Prabhupada has translated word to word meaning over here. The twinkling of the eyes. And animesha means without twinkling of the eyes. That means they didn't want to have even that much amount of separation from Krishna. That means, even if the eyes close and they open, they didn't want to even have that much of a distance from Krishna. And their hearts melted. One of the acharyas, he explains, hearts melted over here means that because of looking at the Lord, their hearts were just pained due to separation. Now they are thinking that we'll have to be separated from the Lord, that the Lord is going away from us. The Lord, who is the most dear personality to our heart, now he's going away from us. And that's why sneha sambaddha, bound by pure affection, they were simply moving behind him wherever he was going, whatever he was doing. They were just trying to, capture the last few glimpses of the Lord. And in the next shloka, if you see text number 14, it says, Nyarundham. Nyarundham means great difficulty. Now, in the 13th shloka, it is spoken about the Pāṇḍavas, as the Acharya explained. But in the 14th shloka, it is said that the ladies with great difficulty, Udgalad Bashpam, Outkanthyat, with great difficulty, they were trying to check, they were trying to block the tears that were flowing from their eyes. And what is the reason why they were trying to, check the tears? They were thinking, Abhadram iti syat Pāṇḍavas Priya. They were thinking that if the Lord is leaving now, or if somebody, anyone, that's the Vedic culture, if anybody is leaving the home and if that person is very affectionate to us, we should give them a farewell with a smile on our faces. But if there are tears in the eyes due to separation that one is expecting, then that tears might cause misfortune or inauspiciousness for the person who is leaving. Now, of course, the tears might be out of love, and such tears of love will not surely cause misfortune. And what misfortune can be there for the Supreme Lord, who is the source of all fortune? But at the same time, out of love for the Lord, the ladies are thinking that we should not cause any sort of misfortune for the Lord due to our tears. And Srila Vishwanath Thakur, in the commentary, he says, when he left the house because of attachment to him, they stopped their flowing tears because they thought there should be nothing inauspicious for him. Udgalad is the present participle with the prefix ud. With great effort, they stopped the tears, but the tears still flowed. Right? So here the word used is outkantya. Outkantya means, is a very nice Sanskrit word, utkantha. Utkantha. Kantha means the throat. Ut means one raises the kantha. In one of the lectures that I was listening, the example was given of people who are standing on the train station. And as soon as the train announcement is done, that, the train is just arriving in a short time, immediately people will go on the tracks and say, oh, where is the train? Where is the train? Dikh nahi rahi hai. I'm not able to figure out the train. Immediately once kantha becomes ut. Ut means appraised kantha. I don't know what example I can give in connection to all of you at Calgary. But I hope all of you understood the example that I'm trying to give. One, because very eager, intensely eager. That's outkantya, because of the great anxiety. That's the word used over here. With great effort, they stopped the tears, but the tears still flowed. They hid those tears with the edges of their garments in order to prevent any inauspiciousness from being seen. So the ladies will generally wear their saris or whatever they have, and the anchal, they will try to hold the tears so that the tears are not visible. That's a beautiful explanation that is given over here. Let's now try to dive into the shloka discussion. What all things we can try to learn from today's particular purport. Yeah. So what we see over here is the Lord has decided to go back to Dwarka, to leave for Dwarka. He has stayed for a long time at Hastinapur, and all the important people now are surrounding the Lord, and their mood of separation is being expressed over here. And who all came to see him? That is given in text number 9 and 10. I just see that shloka. Very beautiful. Who all have come to see him over here? At that time, it is said in the purport, in the translation Prabhupada writes, at that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara. So if you see the beautiful words that are used here, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti. So we know Subhadra is the sister of Krishna, Draupadi is the wife of the Pandavas, Kunti is the mother of the Pandavas. Then Virata Tanaya. Who is Virata Tanaya? The daughter of Virata Tanaya is the daughter, that is Uttara. And then Gandhari, Dhritarashtra. These are the two personalities, the parents of the Kauravas. Then Yuyutsuhu. Yuyutsu is the son of Dhritarashtra only. That means he is the first, you can say, the Kaurava, who was born through the Vaishya wife of Dhritarashtra, not through Gandhari. So he is the 101st son of Dhritarashtra. He was not killed in the war. Then Gautama. Gautama is another name for Kripacharya. Then the Pandavas' names are mentioned. First is Yamau. Yamau is the two sons born through Madri of Pandu, that is Nakul and Sahadev. Vrikodaraha, that is Bhima. If you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, the name of Bhima is given as Vrikodaraha. Then Dhaumya. Dhaumya is Dhaumya Rishi. Then other ladies. And of course, Vrikodara Cha. Cha could also mean the other brothers. Includes Arjuna as well as Yudhishthira Maharaj. And including Matsya Suta Adayaha, the daughter of the fisherman, that is Satyavati, who is Bhishma's stepmother. So you can imagine, Bhishma is as good as the father of Dhritarashtra. That is the age difference between Dhritarashtra and Bhishma. Bhishma also happens to be the brother of Vyasadev, and their mother is Satyavati. So you can imagine so many generations are still living at that time, and all of them nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna. The word used here is na sehire vimoyanto viraham sharangadhan. Sharangadhanva is Lord Dhanvanaha, that is Lord Krishna. So that's what is the beautiful point which is mentioned over here. I just remembered that when we were at the Char Dham Yatra, we also went to a beautiful place called as Pandukeshwar. And that place, Pandukeshwar, is the place where the Pandavas were born. Very beautiful place once you're returning from Badrinath in the middle of the foothills, at the foothills of Himalayas. All the Pandavas were born. It is said the Pandavas, they built this temple within one night. But a beautiful, two temples are there, and the Pandavas were born there at the foothills of Alaknanda, at the banks of Alaknanda, where the river is flowing. Very, very beautiful place. Another very sweet place. Anyway, let's come back. So, na sehire bhumuyanto viraham sharangadhanvanaha. They were not able to tolerate this separation. There's a beautiful shloka in the Shikshashtakam where we say, Shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena. What is the meaning of that? Shunyayitam jagat sarvam. That means the entire world appear like a void. Entire world becomes like a void in separation from the Lord. That's the kind of separation that all of them are feeling over here. You know? So that's one can say that that's a litmus test for all of us. What's the litmus test? That are we able to bear the separation? Are we experiencing any sort of separation? Forget bearing. First, let us ask: are we able to feel any sort of separation? And Prabhupada in the purport, he says a very beautiful point. Prabhupada says that the Lord is all attractive. The Supreme Lord is supremely attractive, and that's why his name is Krishna, who is all attractive. And we all jivas, being part and parcel of Krishna, we should be naturally attracted to Krishna. And that is in our best benefit. The shloka that Prabhupada is remembering in the purport is Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vididhati Kama. We can be completely satisfied only by Krishna. Only Krishna can satisfy all of us in every single way, because he is Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. And that's why our love is actually meant for him alone. Our love, if we dovetail or we try to offer to any person in this material world, that love will not find satisfaction. But the love can find complete satisfaction only in the association of Krishna. And that's why the Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabuna, the real love that we have for Krishna is already there in all of us. We don't have to separately cultivate it. But then the question can come is that why am I not able to remember or experience that love right now? Why am I feeling attraction for the things of this material world and not for Krishna, if I am part and parcel of Krishna? And for explaining this, Srila Rupa Goswami, in the 7th shloka of the Upadeshamrita, all of you might have memorized this shloka, very beautiful shloka. It says, Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Hitapya Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya Narochikan. Very beautiful. It says that the love for Krishna is like Sita. Sita means sweet. It's like sugar candy. So love for Krishna or affection for Krishna is like that. It's very sweet, right? Towards Krishna's name, towards Krishna's form, towards Krishna's pastimes, towards Srimad Bhagavatam class. The love for that or the attraction for that is very natural in our heart. But then, why am I not able to taste that love right now? Why am I not able to experience that sweetness right now? Srila Rupa Goswami explains, due to Pitta Upatapta. He explains that Pitta means bile, or Pitta you can say it's something like a covering on the tongue. When a person gets a disease called jaundice, during the jaundice what happens is whatever items you try to eat, they appear very, very bitter. And due to that bitterness, person cannot taste the sweetness of any particular item. Every item appears to him bitter. And that's what is the comparison given here by Srila Rupa Goswami. That is our situation. We have caused a disease or a spiritual disease, and that's spiritual jaundice, you can say. The jaundice is not spiritual, but the jaundice is making us taste every spiritual item as bitter. Prahlad Maharaj, if you remember, in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he gives another analogy. He says, I am naturally attracted to Krishna, just like iron filings, they get attracted to a magnet. Is there any difficulty in, if you keep a magnet in front of the iron filings, is there any difficulty for the filings to get attracted to the magnet? Absolutely no. They will immediately get attracted. Correct? Unless the iron filing has got a kind of, covering of mud over it, or if the iron filing has got a rust on it. And similarly, it is explained by Srila Rupa Goswami and our Acharyas. They say that the anarthas which are there in our heart, they are like the rust on our heart. And that's a very beautiful point. Actually, anartha, the meaning of the word anartha is very interesting. Ana and artha. Artha means something useful. Anartha means those useless things which we give them value. right? They are actually useless. Like, for example, lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, illusion, the Shadripu, 6 enemies of the living entity. These are all useless things, but we value all this, unfortunately, right? And, these things, they are all born due to the mode of passion and ignorance. All of these 6 things, right? In fact, if you see what is actually lust, lust does not exist. It is simply a converted version of love. And these 6 things which are born out of ignorance or out of lack of association of the Lord, Bhagavad Gita Krishna explains, Avritam jnanametena jnaninas nitya vairinaha. Kama krodhod bhavo. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, these 6 anarthas, they actually cover our real position. Jnanametena, every living entity is full of knowledge. But what is happening? Our real position is covered by these anarthas. And what we have to do, we have to simply uncover these things. Uncover the coverings of anarthas layer by layer, uncovering the self, or you can say discover yourself. Discover, you have to remove the coverings layer by layer. Kama rupena kaunteya, dushpurena analena cha. These things, these are kama rupena. They have come in the form of lust. The kama's origin is actually in love. It doesn't have a separate existence, right? But that covering is simply got covered over. Just like the room that I'm sitting in, there is a white light on the top. Now this white light on the top, actually the light's color is white. But then you put a red color gelatin paper on it, the entire room will be red in color. You put a yellow cover gelatin and then entire room will become yellowish. You put a green or a blue color covering, the entire room will become blue. It actually is white. White is the original color. The red does not exist, but because of that covering, it becomes reddish. The entire room becomes reddish. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he gives the definition of calm. He says, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Bale Kam. He says that when the desire for personal sense enjoyment is there, that means I am the center. Everything is for my enjoyment. Such kind of desire or such kind of expectation, which is called as concentrated selfishness. That means 100% asuric swabhav. What is asura? Asura doesn't mean somebody who has horns on his head, the teeth are a little bit extended, they're coming out of the mouth, like you see vampires. That's not necessarily an asura. Asura means basically the content of passion and ignorance when it has become maximum. That person can be called as an asura. Right? And that's why, when a person develops this asuric swabhava means a nature, an intrinsic nature, right? When person develops an asuric swabhava, he wants to do everything for personal enjoyment. All of you know this Mughal king, Aurangzeb, a very powerful king who ruled once upon a time over India, as an emperor. This person was so much self-centered that he literally, for becoming a king, he killed his own father because he wanted to become the king. And he was worried that his brothers might take up his position. He put all his brothers behind the bars. He put them into prison. So whatever or whoever satisfies me is my friend, and whoever is coming in between me and my goal, he is my enemy. That is the asuric swabhava, which comes due to kama. Kama means one's own enjoyment. Atmendriya Priti Vancha, Tare Bale Kam. So question can come is how to rise above this kama and how to once again develop love for Krishna. One has to become selfless. What is the meaning of selfless? To think less of oneself. थोड़ा अपने बारे में कम सोचो. Think about others, right? A person who can, to the extent like Aurangzeb, he can kill anyone for one's own satisfaction. His wife, his children, his sister, like Kamsa. He was, taking his sister, on the chariot. He said, I will leave you till your sasural. I'll take you there. Pyari bahaniya, banegi dulhaniya. And he was singing such beautiful songs, for his sister. And he himself, told the chariot driver, you get down. I will, today take my sister to her sasural. To sasural chhodkar aunga, and so many things. And as soon as that Akashvani was there, that, the eighth son of your sister, Murkha, Kamsa, or foolish Kamsa, is going to become your Kala, is going to kill you. He immediately caught hold of his sister. Forget about all this sister and all business. Now the son is going to kill me. I cannot tolerate it. So we should not think that only Duryodhan or Kamsa, they are asuras. We might also have this asuric. Right? One should not think that the asuras are there in the outside world, except those in ISKCON Calgary, in सबको छोड़ के बाहर वाले जो कोई भी है वो सब asuras हैं. No. Now they are not the only asuras. It can be within us as well. So this is something very important for us to know. Like for example, Daksha in the Srimad Bhagavatam, very powerful example. Apparently, he appeared to be a very, very aristocratic person. But inside, he had so much ego, so much ahankar, that when he comes in the assembly, every one of them immediately stood up. Thousands of them, all big-time people, they were all standing as soon as Daksha entered. Because the effulgence that Daksha had, it was as good as like thousands of suns, appearing, arising at the same time. He was so effulgent. But then one person did not stand. And who was that? Of course, two of them. One was surely Brahma, his own father. The second was Shivji. And who is Shiva? As soon as Daksha enters into the assembly, he should have offered obeisances to Lord Shiva. But here is Daksha saying that how is this Adivasi? He's not offering me obeisances. He is not offering me respects. Who is this, person who has, put some bhasma around his body? Who is this person who is not offering me respect? He thinks himself to be so great that he doesn't want to stand. My God, thousands of them are standing. One person doesn't stand. What is the big deal? But then he was not able to tolerate. He was having so much false ego. 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If you ever get a chance to read it, you will. At least when I read, it appeared to be an autobiographical. Not the first three shlokas or the shlokas in between for the devotees. But then, the shlokas which are there, which express the demoniac quality. Dambho darpo abhimanas, 16th chapter 4th shloka, it says, Dambho darpo abhimanas. What is Dambha? Dambha, there is one thing called as pride or arrogance. But what is Dambha is, you don't have anything. See, pride is something that you have something and you're proud of it. Dambha is nothing belongs to you, but still you're proud. That's called as ahankar. That's called as Dambha. It's too much ahankar. And the reason for that is due to ignorance. That is Dambho. Darpa is due to ahankar. What happens is a person's style of walking, the person's style of speaking. You can immediately sense so much ego is there in that person. So much arrogance is there in this person. And that's what a person could see in Daksha. And what is Abhimana? There is one thing called as demanding respect. And there is second thing called as commanding respect. Daksha was not commanding respect by which he has earned due to his disposition. He was actually demanding respect. That one is not qualified, but yet one is asking for it. You have to respect me. You know why? You know who am I? You don't know who am I? Let me tell you who am I. That kind of personality. That is Abhimana. So, Krodham Parushyam Evacha. And when one does not get that kind of respect, then one becomes angry. And what is Parushya? Then one starts using bad words. You don't respect me? What do you think of yourself? And then one uses all slang words. I know who you are, what kind of things. And one will start criticizing the person who is there on the other side. Right? Ajnanam chadhijatasya. And this is all due to ignorance. This is all abhijatasya. Partha sampadam asuram. This is called as asuric mind. Right? And in the next shloka, a few shlokas later, Krishna says, Ishwar ho, aham bhogi, siddhoham, balavan sukhi, main. He's thinking, you know who am I? Maine ye kiya, maine wo kiya hai. There's a beautiful shloka I just remembered, and I would love to quote for all of you. This is from Subhasitam. I had somebody shared with me, and I noted it down. This mentality of thinking, main. See, I hope all of you are ready for this shloka. Very powerful shloka. Subhasitam sometimes gives such shlokas that, the ground will slip from where you're sitting underneath you. Very powerful shloka. It says, Ashanam me, vasanam me, jaya me, bandhu vargo me, iti me kurvanam, kala vriko hanti purushancha. You ready for translation? It says, Ashanam me. Ashanam means food. This is my food. Vasanam me, my clothing. Jaya me, my wife. Bandhu vargo me, my relatives. Iti me kurvanam. The person who keeps saying mine, ye mera hai. Who says me? A goat, right? A bleating goat, one who keeps saying like this, like a bleating goat, meh, is devoured at any moment by the wolf of death. Kala vriko hanti purushanja. That is the power. So one has to be conscious, right? One has to be conscious. This meh attitude, one should try to get free of. One should understand that everything ultimately belongs to Krishna. So, these 6 anarthas, and Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha. This Kama esha, Krodha esha, they are something like, in the same section, Krishna explains. No, in the 2nd chapter, Krishna explains it is like fire, right? These anarthas, they are like, 2nd and 3rd chapters are very tight. Krishna explains that it's like fire. And the more one tries to satisfy them, the more one tends to them. What is the meaning of tending to these anarthas? One tries to fulfill the desires. The more one tries to fulfill these desires, it's like fueling the fire with more of fuel. These anarthas will force us to act in ways that are against our real benefit. And where is this anartha residing? Vidyenam iha vairinam. Krishna explains, understand, Arjuna, these anarthas which are there in your heart, they are actually your enemy. Very powerful. And this enemy will always act. Now, that's the speciality of enemy. The enemy is one, or the best enemy, the topmost enemy is one who apparently appears like our friend, but actually he is an enemy. He behaves that I'm such a nice person, like for example, I heard in one of the classes, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, a very, very special devotee, he was telling in one of his classes that he had a classmate, and his classmate, he was a very rich person. He was the son of a liquor shop owner, and during those days in 1970s, he was telling his father would give him every day 100 rupees for personal expenses. And those days, 100 rupees, was a big amount. And his friend, he would, this person, the son of this liquor shop owner, he would every day take his friends. He said, "Chal, main tujhe khilata hu. I will give you a party. Let me feed you. Let us have some drink." Now, apparently, the other friends would think, "Oh, such a nice friend, so much he is trying to feed me. मुझे इतना खिलाता है, लेकिन पैसा भी नहीं मांगता. Such a nice friend he is." But actually, was he a nice person? No, he was not, because he was, because of the money that he had, he was, giving people certain sorts of addictions. These school-going children, they were developing bad habits. These bad habits, addictions, they were trying to, they were developing because of this friend. Now, is this friend a very good person? Apparently a good person, but in reality, he's an enemy. So the enemy is one who will sit inside us or who will sit next to us, but actually speak against our real friends. That shloka in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami tasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. The nature of the devotees, or the yogi and a bhogi is 180 degrees apart. Right? And that's why if we want to get rid of this enemy, we should work on them slowly. And who can help us get rid of these enemies? Only a sadhu, only a devotee. Only a devotee can actually get rid of us, or first of all, help us identify this enemy and help us get rid of this enemy. Right? And that's why one time I heard this from one devotee, that this question was asked to Radhanath Swami. He was asked, what is the meaning of the word sadhu? And Radhanath Swami said, sadhu means one who cuts. One who cuts. What is the meaning? One who cuts means somebody who speaks something in a way that may be that may be hurting us, right? But then that hurting by a sadhu, by a devotee, a genuine devotee, is actually for our benefit. So he speaks something and we immediately feel bad. Oh, why is he speaking so strongly? Why can't he speak sweetly? But the fact that it is hurting, that means there is some injury. He may hold our hand and you are feeling hurt. That means there is some injury inside. You need to get relieved of that injury. Right? If there is a boil and a person is simply blowing air, so nice, I'm feeling so nice. He may appear to be like a friend, but then actually if somebody says, no, let us get rid of this wound, this boil, we need to cut it. Oh, what are you speaking? Cut the boil, it will hurt so much. No, that cutting is actually good for you. That person is your friend. We see in the same section, a few chapters later, when Vidura and Dhritarashtra Samvaj will come and Dhritarashtra will quit home. Vidura, when he came, he said, Rajan, what are you doing? Get out. There were two Rajans sitting there. One Rajan was Yudhishthira Maharaj, the king, and second Rajan was Dhritarashtra Maharaj, was not the king, but was thinking himself as a king. So when Vidura was speaking, Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking he is speaking to me, but actually it was hitting the right place, and that was Dhritarashtra. And Yudhishthira Maharaj Vidura was telling that, Rajan, what are you doing? You have become so old. Your ears have become deaf. Your teeth is falling off. Get out of this palace. Right? And when Dhritarashtra, previously had Duryodhana next to him, it was difficult for him to leave home. But now Duryodhana had gone, Dhritarashtra could understand that Vidura is actually my well-wisher and he could actually give up the kingdom. Now the question comes is, after understanding, after uncovering or after realizing this enemy, this Jnaninas Nitya Vairina, this real eternal enemy of ours, how do we reawaken the love which is there in our heart? So to reawaken the love, we need to do two things, or come across, try to develop these two things. Number one, hear the Katha of the Lord in the association of spiritual master, the pure devotee. That's number one. And secondly, try to develop affection for hearing the holy name, about the holy form, about the holy qualities, and about the holy pastimes of the Lord. These are the two things we should try to do to awaken this love. That means if we are able to develop or to experience some sort of affection, even a little quantity towards the holy name of Srimad Bhagavatam, we should know that we are becoming healthier. And the shloka that we read from Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita, the 7th shloka, it says, Pittopatapta rasanasya na rochikanu, because of the pitta, the taste, the rochika, the ruchi is not there, the taste is not there, but kintu adarat anudinam. the two words, very powerful words, which are as good as solution for this pitta, for this bitter jaundice. The solution for that is given by Rupa Goswami in the same sloka. What is these two words? It says, Kintu Adara. Adar means out of respect. Understanding that Abhinnatvam Nama Namina, Krishna's holy name, or Krishna's form, or Krishna's pastimes, or Krishna's qualities, or even Krishna's abode, they are not different from Krishna. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukta Abhinnatvam Nama Namina. There is no difference between Krishna's name. And that's why whenever we chant Krishna's name in his beautiful book, Japa Affirmations, his Mahatma Prabhu, he says that whenever we chant Krishna's name, just like when the altar opens, and just before the class began, somebody had pointed the camera towards the altar. I could see the beautiful darshan of Radha Krishna. There are Radha Madhav. Radha deities are called Radha Madhav there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah. So such beautiful Radha Krishna deities you have at home, at your temple. When we come in front of the Lord, immediately what do we do when the altar opens for the Govinda Madi Purusham? We immediately offer our Dandavat Pranam. We immediately offer our obeisance. And similarly, when we sit for chanting Hare Krishna, what should we do? We should immediately try to also offer obeisances to the holy name. Kintu Adarat. Number one, understand that the holy name also is the Radha and Krishna in personal form. Right? Radha and Krishna is personally appearing in front of me in the form of holy name. So, we have to understand that the holy name is not different from Krishna. Right? And that's why when we chant Hare Krishna, or when we come in front of the Lord, that's on the little cups is there. But then we see here that in the text number 14, we see that these ladies who did not get an actual opportunity to interact with Krishna directly, and Prabhupada writes that in the purport as well. They never got a direct opportunity to interact with Krishna. But they had heard about Krishna, and because of hearing about Krishna, they developed love for Krishna. And that was when I was reading that, I was remembering that sloka for which I took a small pause during the reading of the purport. There is a sloka in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The same sloka comes two times. One is Krishna speaking the sloka to the Brahman Patnis, and the second time Krishna is speaking the same shloka to the Gopis. And this shloka is actually a secret, or I can say a process by which we can develop love for Krishna. What is the shloka? It says, Shravana Darshana Dhyanat Mai Bhavo Nukirtanat Na Tatha Sannikarshena Tati Yato Tato Grihan. That's the shloka. It says, Shravana Darshana Dhyanat. Shravanat means by hearing about Krishna. Darshana is taking darshan of the deities of the Lord. Dhyanat means by meditation on the Lord's pastimes. Shravanat, Darshanat, Dhyanat. Mai Bhavo Nukirtanat. And by discussing about my activities with the devotees. Na Tatha Sannikarshena, not by personal association. Na Tatha Sannikarshena, Prati Yato Tato Grihan. By this, you will develop love for me. Srila Prabhupada actually gives the secret of developing love for Krishna by hearing about Krishna on a regular basis. From whom? From pure devotees like our spiritual master, from Srila Prabhupada, when you regularly hear. Right? And that's why we see that that's how we see these ladies, they never saw Krishna directly. Yeah, they must have seen Krishna surely, because Krishna stayed in Hastina for quite some time. But they developed a love for him by regularly hearing about him. And Srila Prabhupada is giving a clue for us. How do we develop our love for him? Now, there are two ways of associating with the Lord, or with the pure devotees as well, who are representatives of the Lord. One is in Vapu association, and second is in Vani association. Somebody comes to the temple, he gets the Vapu association of the deity. Right? And when one gets Vapu association of the deities, what one should do? One should, with open eyes, take darshan of the Lord. When you come in front of the Lord, you will see sometimes when newcomers, they come to the temple, they will come in front of the Lord, and I have seen here also in our temple, they will come and sit in, Padmasan, and, hands straight, and they will close their eyes. Darshan is open, they will close their eyes, and they will, appear to be in great meditation upon the Lord. Arey, you're in front of the Lord. Open your eyes. Look at the beautiful form. The devotees have taken so much endeavor in the morning 2 hours to decorate the Lord in such beautiful way that all of us can see the Lord and take his darshan and, bask in his merciful glance. But, some people, they will just close their eyes. Other people, they will come to the temple, but they will only come to the temple to ask something to Lord. There was one person who sent a message. The message read, जब देखो मांगने ही आते हो, कभी मिलने भी आया करो. As if the Lord is, speaking in this particular statement. People, they just come, give me this, give me that, Dhanam Dehi, Rupavati Bharya Dehi. That's all you come to the temple of the Lord for. Do you really care for Krishna? Have you come to meet Krishna, or you just come to ask him? So when we come to the Lord, how should we come to the Lord? What should be the right attitude? We come to see the Lord along with some gift. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what gift you can bring for him? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. And how beautiful culture is there in ISKCON, right? Our devotees have established this beautiful culture. As soon as the darshan opens, we might not have brought anything with us. We might just come with our empty hands. But a heart filled with love, of course, the devotees, they will arrange for flowers for all of us, right? I guess this culture is also there at ISKCON Calgary. As soon as the darshan opens, we will take a flower and offer it to the Lord. Yeah? And where are the flowers coming from? It's arranged by the temple management. They will arrange for a flower to be offered by the Lord, by the devotees to the Lord. Pushpam and phalam. Phalam is fruits. And toyam. Toyam is water. Does Krishna need water? Does Krishna need juices? Does Krishna need any of these things? Krishna doesn't need. The special ingredient that is in these items is bhaktya. That is love. That is devotion. So I few days back, I read a beautiful quote by Srila Prabhupada. In one of the classes, Srila Prabhupada was making this particular point. I'll try to paraphrase it because I don't have the exact the text of it. Prabhupada was telling that Krishna has given us so much. The sun, Prabhupada gives an analogy. He says the sun, 24 hours, the sun gives us sunlight. And the sun never charges it. The sun never charges for the sunlight. But now that we have got a human form, we can understand that the sun has given us so much. And by understanding, we should try to become grateful towards Krishna and offer our love back to Krishna in reciprocation. That's beautiful. Prabhupada is making a point, brilliant point Prabhupada is making, that how we should learn to become grateful. And these devotees here in this section, they are genuinely crying out of love for Krishna. Right? That beautiful song which is written by our acharyas, Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite Nayane Bhave Nira. A beautiful song. It says, Gauranga bolite have pulaka sharira. When will that time come when I chant Gauranga, the hairs of my body will stand on end? Hari Hari bolite. When will the day come when I'll chant Hari Hari and my eyes will shower tears? Tears will come out of my eyes. This is a very beautiful point. And if such a feeling is not coming from our heart when the names of the Lord are chanted, we should understand what is the reason behind it. The reason behind it is given by Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami in again Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very powerful verse again. He says, He na Krishna naam jadi laya bahubar, tabhu jadi prema nahe asrudhar, tabe jani aparadhe tahate prachur, Krishna naam bija tahe na kare ankur. The translation is, He na Krishna naam jadi laya bahubar. If we are chanting the name of Krishna bahubar, many, many times, tabu jadi Krishna prema nahe asrudhar, and still there is no love for Krishna, there is no tears coming out of our eyes. He explains why. When such a thing is happening, we should understand why such a thing is happening. Tabe jani. One should know immediately what is the reason behind it. Aparadha tahate prachur. This is because of committing a lot of offenses. Prachur means a lot of offenses have been committed. Krishna nama bija tahe na kare ankur. Right? Otherwise, the bija, as soon as it is planted in the ground, if you offer water, if you offer sunlight, the seeds should immediately grow. But if Krishna nama bija, which is having a lot of prema inside it, is not becoming, it's not becoming ankurita. If the seed is not fructifying, is not sprouting, we should know that is because of a lot of offenses. And Prabhupada explains in the same, in the purport to the same shloka, Prabhupada explains that this is the reason why one should take care of the 10 offenses. The 10 offenses while we chant the holy name of the Lord, that we have to safeguard against. Some of them we need to take care while we are chanting, especially the 11th offense, the mother of all offenses, to be inattentive while chanting the holy name. One has to be very careful that one should be attentive during the japa. But at the same time, there are other offenses which might be committed during the 22 hours of the remaining day. When one is careful against these offenses or preventing oneself from committing these offenses, one can very quickly develop this love for Lord. So this kind of behavior that is shown by these pure devotees in this section might be difficult for all of us to realize, might be difficult for all of us to understand. But we can surely understand that it might not be anukaraniya. Anukaraniya is imitating. We cannot imitate these great souls. It might not be anusaraniya. Difficult to follow in their footsteps. Somehow try to show some sort of separation for the Lord. Unless one has love for the Lord, how can such separation arise in the heart? So first of all, we have to develop that love for the Lord. Right? But then we can surely know that this is anuvandaniya. That we can fold our palms, we can join our palms, we can fold our hands and offer all these great devotees our humble obeisance. That you are such wonderful devotees, the Pāṇḍavas, they have such wonderful love for the Lord. Where the Lord, I'll just remember, you just try to find out that shloka. Beautiful shloka. Yeah, see, it says, Tasmin nyasta dhiya partha sahiran viraham katham darshana sparsha samlapa shayanasana bhojanaihi. These Pāṇḍavas and all these great devotees, they had the association in the form of darshana, seeing the Lord face to face. Sparsha, they got an opportunity to touch the Lord. Samlapa, they could converse with the Lord. Like Arjuna, he could hold the hand of Krishna by touching Krishna. Samlapa is by talking to Krishna. Shayana, he also got opportunity to sleep along, next to Krishna. Asana, sitting with Krishna for eating food or for discussing about different subject matters. Bhojanaihi, even having prasad with Krishna, having wonderful, eatables along with Krishna. Tasmin nyasta dhiya partha. When the consciousness, the nyasta dhiya, when the mind is so much absorbed in Krishna, sahiran viraham katham. How can these Pāṇḍavas tolerate his separation. But of course, they know that Devaki Sutam, in the text number 14, the word used for Krishna is Devaki Sutam, that he is the son of Devaki, who is waiting for him at Dwaraka. So they are thinking, these devotees are thinking of Devaki, that Devaki is also missing Krishna. Let us now leave him. Let us allow him to go back to Dwaraka. So that is the beautiful, mood that these devotees have towards Krishna. We may not be able to have such love for Krishna at this moment, but if we have this kind of love for the devotees whom we are living with, to begin with one spiritual master, and if not possible with the spiritual master due to not having his regular association, towards our Shiksha Gurus or towards the great devotees whom we are living with. If we can develop this kind of love towards the devotees whom we live with, then one day we will surely be able to develop such love for Krishna. And that's why a very hope-giving shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam, I guess it comes in the 3rd canto, it says, Prasangam ajaram pasham atmano kavayo viduhu sa eva sadhushu krito moksha dwaram apagam. Very beautiful shloka. It says, Prasangam ajaram pasham atmano kavayo viduhu. It is said, this shloka says, that that affection which we have for the things of this world, atmano kavayo viduhu. There are great souls who explain, saeva sadhu sukrito. That same kind of attachment, that same kind of affection, if we develop towards the devotees of the Lord, sadhu sukrito, moksha dwaram apagam. The doors to the spiritual world will open and we will go back to God. If we are able to develop this kind of affection, this kind of association, this kind of tears, this kind of love towards the devotees, and Srila Prabhupada himself confirmed it. One devotee asked Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, if at the time of death I don't remember Krishna because I don't have love for him, but if at the time of death, if I remember you, my dear Srila Prabhupada, will I be able to go back to Godhead? And Srila Prabhupada confirmed it. After a short pause, Prabhupada said, yes, you will still be able to achieve the kingdom. So that's the hope for all of us. Let us try to develop this love, beginning with devotees, eventually towards Krishna. Thank you all very much for giving your patient hearing. I'm extremely sorry I went over time. I was supposed to close that within 1 hour. I went 10 minutes. Sorry for that. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Thank you, bro. Thank you for giving me time.
Thank you so much for amazing class, Prabhu. It was very nice to hear from you again. If you have time, can we take a couple of questions, Prabhu?
Yeah. If you all have time, because already it's time up. But then, in case someone has any questions, we can surely take.
Anybody have questions?
Or even if you don't have a question, you would like to comment something or correct me if I have spoken something that was not appropriate, you can do that as well. Questions, comments, corrections, accusations, protests. you can offer any of them. Yes, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Pradanda Pranam. Thank you so much for a very wonderful class. It's so blissful to hear you always. And first of all, thank you for quoting this very wonderful verse, Shravana, Darshana, Dhyana. I just like that. And for transcendental love, for how we can achieve for Krishna. My question is, Prabhuji, how do we get rid of this asking attitude? When we come, you quoted one Hindi, this thing, Mangne ka, milne ka, right? So how do we get rid of this Mangne ka attitude, Prabhuji? That's my question.
Yeah. We might not be able to get rid of this Mangne ka attitude. But then, what do we ask Krishna for? That we can change. See? We might not be able to get rid of asking Krishna for something. But if we simply ask Krishna for love for him, and Srila Prabhupada taught us the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and he taught the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service. There also we are asking only. Srila Prabhupada told us, chant 24 hours. What do you chant? Ask, beg, cry. And what do you cry? You ask Krishna only one thing, that please engage me in your loving devotional service. So are we stopping asking Krishna from something? No, we are asking Krishna to be engaged in his loving service. And eventually the Mahamantra will change its meaning for us. Our Mahatma Prabhu, he had come to Pune once, and he made the Hare Krishna Mahamantra into a song. Have you heard that song? He made the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the 16 words, the rhyming, he made it into English Mahamantra. And he said, O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. Oh, my friend, please accept me. Bring my heart closer to your heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's a beautiful meaning. So we are asking Krishna, initially we are asking, O Radha, O Krishna, please engage me in your service. And the next line we translate, and he's doing it from the... He says, oh my friend, please accept me. That's what we are praying to Krishna for. Please accept me. Bring my heart closer to your heart. And that's a beautiful prayer which we can offer to Krishna. So yes, eventually the meanings will change for us as we develop more and more love for him. Let's begin with the right meaning, prayer in the right context. However, thank you for that wonderful question. And you reminded me of the entire Mahamantra, English Mahamantra. Yes.
Any other question? Yeah, that's all, Prabhu.
Are we done, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm not able to hear. Just a second. Is there some good? What happened? Yeah, you can speak, Prabhu, now.
Yeah. Can we chant Hari Bol for 3 times, Prabhu?
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
His Grace Haldhar Priya Prabhu ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai. Thank you all very much for
Thank you so
giving a
much,
chance. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.